Hello everybody, it's DuckFaden07 and today we are playing the, let's say, the Zoo Storm list using the Ancient Imperiosaur and the Thrasta as our main payoffs. The goal of this deck is trying to cast this card turn 2 or turn 3 and win by casting it. There are additional payoffs we use in this deck as our finisher for the Storm count. I have Chatterstorm, 4 Reckless Bushwhackers to get +1 to all of these tokens we are creating and putting bodies on the field. Okay, so we have a lot of enablers here too. I play a lot of 24 free spells. So free spells include Memnite, Ornithopter, Mishra's Bauble, Hidden Herbalist, Manamorphose, Burning-Tree Emissary. 24 free spells help us to try to do the Storm on turn 2, play 4 spells to cast either Thrasta for free, or create a lot of bodies on the field so we can cast Imperiosaur either immediately on the same turn, mostly using either turn 1 Gleeful Demolition or turn 2 Chatterstorm, or just cast the Imperiosaur on turn 3 or later and try to do something else on turn 2 like Reckless Bushwhacker, stuff like that. So it's a very simple deck trying to combo off and it's extremely fun to play. On the sideboard we have a Tormod Crypt, a Graveyard Hate, Pithing Needle. These cheap artifact pieces work well as a hate, but also work well with Gleeful Demolition. 1 Chalice of the Void, Force of Vigor, Magus of the Moon, and Grapeshot as a replacement for Fury, because we really don't want to kind of pitch cards from our hands in this deck. So Grapeshot should work a little bit better in theory against decks that play a lot of small toughness creatures like Death and Texas. Maybe humans, stuff like that. Okay, so that is it. Going to go to see, very simple. I don't want to waste more time explaining. So we just cast these big guys on turn 2 and try to win like that. Okay, so a lot of the games have such an just don't have an answer to all of this and just quickly lose. And we'll go through the one of the leagues I played today and yesterday. 2 of the leagues finished 3-2 and we are going to watch one of them. Okay, so game 1 playing second, match 1 playing second, sorry. And here we have the Herbalist, Emissary, plus Chatterstorm, which is already 3 tokens on the turn 2, plus the 2 bodies from Herbalist and Emissary. Means we get to play the Imperiosaur pretty fast. Also there is a Bauble. But opponent plays a Totsis, so takes out the Imperiosaur from our hand. So we can do the thing, but still I was able to cast Bauble, Herbalist, Emissary, get 4 Squirrel tokens, which was pretty cool. I left Mishra's Bauble on the field, so I can go Gleeful Demolition next turn. Still did 8 power on the field, put my opponent down to 7, make 3 more tokens, and just win this game anyway. Without although opponents discarded the Imperiosaur, it was I was playing against Reanimator 5 color. Basically, they did nothing in this game 1, just played the Asmo cookbook and conceded the game. That was it. Okay, so match 2. There were a lot of pretty cool games where I did just very powerful stuff. I'm not sure if this is in this league or another one. I think it's actually another one, but we had some cool games here too. Maybe I'll show some games from the league I played before this too. Okay, so had the Crypt here, so I went for I decided to go for to create 3 tokens on turn 1 because Crypt was my only artifact in hand. He didn't have as good hand as before, but I was I decided to keep it anyway. So I was hoping to get like a free spell to play my Emissary, but when I drew Thrasta, then I had to like do the plan B, and plan B was just getting the tokens and start attacking. My opponent actually attacked me with Emrakul, which was funny. I lost all the permanents, but the game was still not over. So because they weren't doing much, just like after the Emrakul, they didn't have anything, and I survived on 2 life. I've got the Memnite, I got the Tormod Crypt, but I had to find another spell here to just cast this Chatterstorm, create 3 tokens, which means next turn I can go for Imperiosaur and then try to win quickly. So I got the Morphose, draw another card, play a land, convoke my creatures and create a big Imperiosaur which will just end the game in 1 attack. My opponent makes these full tokens, try to gain some life. But actually they can't draw a lot in this situation to survive this. They do get another turn, I play my Emissary, but that was it, so opponent concedes. So even after the Emrakul, I had to sack 6 permanents to Emrakul and still won. Pretty good. So okay, we can now watch the second game. I'll go to the wins first, and then we'll see the losses. Loss in match 2 was pretty close. We'll see it later. Okay, so I had the Gleeful Demolition on 1, Herbalist Manamorphose on 2, potentially casting the Imperiosaur. I was playing against Murktide. I think Murktide is a good matchup. I started by creating three tokens here. Then started the turn 2 with fetching to trigger the Herbalist. I think I made a mistake here. You will see. I was thinking about them having the Spell Pierce, and I was thinking about playing or not playing the Manamorphose. I decided to do it, but I had a Spell Pierce, so this meant that I can play the Imperiosaur this turn. I have to wait for another turn, which was pretty bad. It was like obvious mistake, but it didn't matter much. I just wanted to like resolve my Imperiosaur, and my opponent tapped out to play the Murktide, but I don't worry about 6/6 Murktide when I have 16/16 Imperiosaur, which will one-shot my opponent. Okay, my opponent goes for the attack there with the Murktide, but I have the lethal immediately, so that was very quick game 1. Let's see the game 2. Okay, mulliganing that starting hand. I had a really mediocre hand here, just a turn 2 small Chatterstorm. I had the Atraxa Fall to deal with Channeler, Shredder, and Murktide. This first version I played Atraxa Fall instead of Grapeshot. Okay, so I went for it. I have the Herbalist. I have the Ornithopter. Get 3 tokens. It's good against Ragavan. This Ragavan definitely ain't connecting after resolving the Chatterstorm. And now I'm waiting to get the Imperiosaur or something else. I have the Gleeful Demolition, but it's not great. It's not great if they can play removal and response, so kind of just play the Atraxa Fall. Opponent does a good trick by playing Dress Down, and the Channeler lost the flying, so it didn't remove it. But now I was able to play the Gleeful Demolition, get the tokens, and get the 4 damage through, which was kind of important. There will be also games where I successfully play Trashta on turn 2, so you can also see that too. My opponent had to attack here with the Channeler, so just one creature there, and I get to play they tapped out, so I get to play the 18/18 Imperiosaur, which is like impossible for the opponent to deal with, and they got the explosives turn too late, so they conceded the game, and that was it. Okay, quick games against Murktide. Okay, so match 3, win number 3 in this league. Opponent started with Ethervile, so it was a blue-white, I think Texas deck, not sure. Again, just a Chatterstorm for 3, but if you can like this situation, this kind of deck just can't deal with this token. So at any point, if you can get the Imperiosaur and draw it, you will automatically just win the game. Opponent plays 2 Meddling Mages, one naming Grapeshot, other naming Lightning Bolt. I think opponent didn't play this game like the best they could have. They didn't attack for many turns when they had like a few good options to attack. I find the Morphos here, so I go with it. Find the Demolition, find the Topter. I don't know why I didn't cast the Demolition here. I forgot. I think maybe I don't know why I was saving it. But my opponent had the Talia's Lieutenant. I forgot completely why I didn't do this. But here I got the Demolition and Reckless Bushwhacker, but I didn't really have a good attacks here, so I just paused the turn waiting for that Imperiosaur. Not sure if my opponent knew or not if I'm playing the Imperiosaur or not, but they were not attacking for multiple turns. They're probably afraid of losing some important creatures and me just killing them after that. I just went for the Mishra's Bauble, tried to draw something, and there I find the Imperiosaur. That was the top deck I needed, and my opponent again decided against attacking. I don't know what they were waiting for, but I got the Imperiosaur, and thanks to the Imperiosaur I was able to try to win this game, which was otherwise very unwinnable. And then after I resolved the Imperiosaur, my opponent decides to go for the attack. But it wasn't enough. It wasn't enough, and they go with everything. And I just survive and kill them in swingback, so they concede. Okay, that was game 1. Game 2, on the play, had much better hand. I have 3 free spells so far, so just need a 4th one to be able to cast Thrasta on turn 2. I get my Memnite, so you can see the game where I cast Thrasta turn 2. Opponent had the Heroic Champion, so it means they'll get a lot of life here. I wasn't able to cast the Emissary because Thrasta needs 2 green, and the Emissary gives red and green. And I didn't have the Morphose. So I get the 7 damage with Thrasta, but opponent also gets their Thrasta, but now I had the Memnite, I had Burning-Tree Emissary, I had the Demolition to destroy the Memnite, get 3 tokens, and get my own Ancient Imperiosaur. And now Thrasta wasn't the biggest guy on the field anymore. So it was a really cool game where I was able to get both of these big creatures on the play. And yeah, just kill my opponent in a few attacks. So that is it. We'll now watch the loss in a match number 2, also against Blue-Red Murktide, which I think is usually a good matchup for this deck. But I didn't have. I think I was missing some luck there. I decided not to keep Memnite, but to keep Bushwhacker, then go turn 2 Bushwhacker, turn 3. Turn 3, then try to Imperiosaur maybe, but I was sorry about that because I top decked the Chatterstorm. So if I held the Memnite, I could have immediately cast the Imperiosaur on turn 2, which would be like win the game immediately because they can't deal with that creature. But anyway, it was okay because I was able to play him on turn 3, which is basically unplayable, unbeatable for this deck. Also missing just mana to play the Bushwhacker immediately. And my opponent really doesn't have much chance in a situation like this. They don't have an answer to this Imperiosaur. They try to race me with the flyers. But I played the Bushwhacker and have immediate lethal, so that was the game 1. That was the game 1. Game 2, I had Tormod Crypt, I had the Herbalist, Chatterstorm for turn 2, then turn 3 start playing the Bushwhackers. It was looking good. I was convinced I'm going to win this. But my opponent also had a very good hand. And I missed kind of a few good top decks. I got the 4 creatures there, but my opponent used Unholy Heat to lower the amount of creatures I have. They also find the Fury, which was a perfect top deck at this point. So I didn't have, just had at this moment I draw the Thrasta and the Imperiosaur. That was all bad. And I only had payoffs in my hand, no enablers, which then meant I really can't do much in this game. Maybe if I used my Tormod Crypt at the right moment, I would gain more time to maybe try to recover. But the opponent kind of just had a perfect response in this game with a Fury. So that was it. Yeah. Okay, we can now watch the game 3. Game 3, mulliganing to 6, having a cool start with Herbalist, Emissary, Chatterstorm. It's decent. If I can get another creature, it can be really good, like Memnite, for example. But unfortunately, I find another Gleeful Demolition with no artifacts in hand. That was pretty bad. I also boarded out 1 Gleeful Demolition, so I only had 3 of them at this moment. So it was pretty bad. My opponent also had two Unholy Heats to prevent me from like top decking Imperiosaur and playing it. So they started casting Shredder, finding cards. I got this Gleeful Demolition stuck in my hand, not being able to do much with them. And yeah, so this deck either draws very well or doesn't. And this was like example where you just draw these 2 cards that you can't find interaction with, and they get the Murktide on the field early with this much flyers and a lot of pressure here. So I finally get my Imperiosaur, but it was too late and I concede. So that was it. There was another game. The game I lost against Living End. Trying to raise Living End. It is possible, definitely. I'm on the play and I often play turn 2 Imperiosaur, and I have a lot of free spells, as you can see, in hand. So making a lot of squirrel tokens, which means I can play Imperiosaur on turn 2. If I get it, of course. Didn't get it, but still I was able to make a lot of tokens here. I play Bauble, I play Topter, another Topter, and the Chatterstorm make 5 squirrels plus Emissary, that is 7 power, which is a 3-turn clock. If I can get the Bushwhacker, maybe it's an immediate kill. Okay, so I draw 2 cards from the bubble, hoping to get the Bushwhacker or something. I got the Bushwhacker. I actually just needed basically any spell, but I got a land, and if I had any spell, I think I could maybe win this. Would it be lethal? Just let me check it. This would be 10, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, it will be lethal. If I just got the spell, that would be it. My opponent anyway didn't have a cascade spell, so I got to win anyway in this game 1, so it was looking good. It was looking good, but I kind of I have the Tormod Crypt in this game 2, which this was like pretty good hand. Memnite, Emissary, Herbalist, Chatterstorm, this can make a huge number of tokens. On turn 2 also I have a Crypt as a hate here. So I play the Bauble, I see the Stomping Grounds on top. I really wanted to find the land. I'm not sure why I played the Crypt here. I should have holded the Crypt, definitely. For the next turn, Storm Count. Yeah, maybe this was a bad decision. I'm not sure why I played it. Maybe I was afraid of grief. Yeah, they had a grief, so I guess this was a good decision. They took the Bushwhacker, and I had the Magus of the Moon, which was pretty. Magus of the Moon is actually pretty good against a Living Dead. Living End, if I can resolve this, they have really hard time dealing with the Magus, and if they don't have the forest, they mostly lose. So I play my Chatterstorm, I get 7 creatures. This is a pretty good clock, and I have the Tormod Crypt. But yeah, this is like one of the best decks to deal with it. They just play every 3 mana cascade spell is a math removal for them, so it's one of the decks that can most easily deal with this kind of board. So they just go for the Chalice. I have to use my Tormod Crypt, so I lose all my board, of course. I get the Bushwhacker back. So if I got the land here, I think I would still win. But I did only got the land for the next turn, so it wasn't good enough, and that was loss in this second game. If you can watch the last game, got the Magus too late, and my opponent controlled me after that. So I was hoping to turn 2 Thrasta here. So basically, I have 2 turns to top deck any free spell. I play 24 of these spells in the deck. So I need to top deck anything really, like Ornithopter, Memnite, Bauble, Hidden Herbalist. All of these things can work for me here, but I didn't get it. I got another Imperiosaur, which just wasn't what I needed here. And yeah, so I got another land and I was able to do it now. So I went for it. I played the Memnite, I got the Herbalist. Get 2 mana here, play the Crypt. Play the Thrasta, start attacking. It was turn too late. If I was able to do this last turn, I would probably be able to win. I think, if I remember right. So now my opponent was on 12 here. That could have been last turn. And I would have like very close to lethal here. They would be on 2. Okay, so after this Charles, obviously I was in a bad position. All my creatures dead, and if they were on 2, like if I got the free spell before, or if they were on 2 or 1 life, then I would have a real good shot of finishing this game. But like this, it's really not high chance of recovering on time. So that was the game. That were all the games from the entire league. I played another 3-2 league with this deck. It was even more exciting. Had some really impressive turn 2s, and That's it. So if you like the video, if you like the gameplay, if you want to help the channel, click like, subscribe, comment in the video. And there is now in my video the Twitch link to my Twitch channel. I streamed for the last 2 days for the first time, and I plan to do it kind of semi-regularly in the future. And so you can see me there, or just follow me on YouTube. And that's it for today. Goodbye.